Hello, and welcome to Millsaps College. This is Dr. Durwa, the Director of Writing and Teaching, and I'm going to speak with you briefly about getting started with your Chalk and Wire account. After you've attended this workshop, you'll receive an email letting you know that your Chalk and Wire ePortfolio account has been activated. Once you receive this email, please make sure that you go to the website so that you can change your password and start accessing your Chalk and Wire space. You can get to that space by typing in your web browser chalkandwire.com. When you get to the main Chalk and Wire page, you want to click on Login. You'll be asked to identify your institution, which is Millsaps. And then once you see this Millsaps College logo at the top, you'll be able to log in. So I'm going to log in as my demonstration student. Her name is Annie. So there's her user ID. And let me put in her password. Now, the first time you log in, you're going to have some crazy alphabet soup of a password. And the very first thing that will happen is that you'll be taken to a screen where you can put in a new password. I've already done that for Annie, but don't be surprised when you see that happen for you. After you've changed your password, you'll come to this main page. This is your dashboard. This is where everything happens, and it's the main page that you're going to be concerned with when you are initially signing in to Chalk and Wire. You'll notice that at the upper right-hand corner, there's a little inbox that's showing you have mail. So you can click on that, and you'll see that you have a notification from the Chalk and Wire system. You'll get the same email. Once you've taken a look at that, just hit this return button. That'll take you back to the page you were on before, or your home page rather. And then you'll notice here at the top as well, you have a place where you can personalize your page and put an image there. You can go to the My Profile page and edit your information. So you can choose a file that shows a new image of you, or you can put up something that you think represents you, like a picture of a cute kitten or maybe a picture of the major. Edit your profile as you would like to. You're not required to put in address information, etc., but if you would like to do so, you can. Notice here too that there's also a tab for My Resume, and in later training videos we'll show you how to actually set up a professional portfolio so that you will have something to send to potential employers. Now this time, to leave this particular area, I want to draw your attention over here to this menu bar. When I click on it, you'll see that I have the options that are available to me in Chalk and Wire. And so let's really quickly take a look at what those are. First, there's the dashboard, which was that page that you were on originally. And this is your main page in Chalk and Wire. Next is the work menu, and I'll show you that in just a moment when I tell you how to set up your first portfolio. Then you'll notice a contact list manager where you can, over time, if you want to put together contacts that you have in Chalk and Wire, you can use this. The user guide is the greatest place in the world because that's where you will find all the wonderful support that Chalk and Wire has available for you. But if that does not prove helpful, you also will find a support request button here that you can send to Chalk and Wire. And then finally, there's a What's New section where we at Millsaps will be posting information if there is anything new that we want to share with you, and where Chalk and Wire folks will also be posting information about what's new with the system. The main area where you're going to be concerned with being is, of course, your dashboard and then your work menu. Let's go back to the dashboard. So looking at the dashboard, you'll see you have several tabs up here at the top. The first one, Overview, right now doesn't have anything in it because nothing has happened yet to Annie. She hasn't started making any portfolios. She hasn't had to do any work on Chalk and Wire. But once she starts becoming active, she'll see things here. Notice too as well that at the bottom right of this particular page, and you'll see this throughout the site, you have my name and email address. If you have questions about Chalk and Wire or you need support, this is where you would want to begin. So if you have a question about Chalk and Wire at Millsaps, you want to contact me first, and then if we can't resolve it, we'll send it up to the company. Next tab is a really important one, Portfolios. And you'll see here I haven't started any portfolios yet, but portfolios are the main buckets or areas where your chalk and wire work will happen. So what you will be doing as a student is creating and uploading documents to a portfolio so that faculty assessors will be able to assess your work against whatever rubric they're using and then give you some feedback about the quality of your work. Right now, Annie doesn't have any portfolios, so there's nothing here, but by the end of this video, she will have one. Notice that on the right here, you've got this little star icon. If you would like, you can make this your default tab for the dashboard, and that's something that we actually might recommend to you simply because this is the place where you'll do most of your work. So I'm going to make that Annie's default tab. So every time I click on dashboard now, it's going to take me there. The Performance tab, of course, has nothing to show, but once Annie has created a portfolio, populated it with some documents, and it's been assessed by faculty members, she'll be able to see what her progress is on those portfolio items. The upcoming section will show Annie what she has due and where she needs to focus her time with regard to the portfolios that she's currently working on. Finally, under surveys, from time to time there may be a survey that you'll need to complete for various parts of the academic programs, and those will show up here if you have them, and you'll get a little notification that you have a survey. But right now we're going to go back to portfolios. So Annie needs a portfolio, and there are a couple of ways that she can create one. She can click on this button here that says Go to My Portfolios, and it will take her to that particular page. She could also click on the menu and go to her work page. And when you click on the work menu, you'll see a number of options that are available there as well. My coursework is the main one, so let's go there. This takes her to her coursework page. We don't have any portfolios, so let's make a portfolio for Annie. Right now, the only thing that you need to be concerned about is making your portfolio for the Compass curriculum assessments. Your writing portfolio is one that you will also be creating at a later time, but once you've done this one time, I think you're going to find it a fairly easy thing to do for subsequent portfolios. So let's make a portfolio for Annie. Now, Annie needs to create a Compass curriculum portfolio. So we're going to click on Create New Portfolio, and right away we're asked to give it a name. Instead of using Annie's name, I'm going to call the portfolio what it is, because of course, Annie is Annie, and I know that I'm assessing someone, and the computer knows that I'm assessing Annie. But for Annie's purposes, she knows what her name is, but she needs to make sure she knows what her portfolio is called. So I'm going to call this Compass Portfolio. There's no department to select, and I'm going to pick a table of contents, and the one that I want is actually right up here. When you click on the drop-down menu, you'll see what tables of contents are available to students. The one that she wants is this one, Compass Year 1. So that's the portfolio we're going to create. We click on Create, and now the Compass portfolio for Annie has been opened. So Annie could actually start putting things into her portfolio right now. Let me show you really quickly what's going on this screen. So at the top we have this bar that has all these little colored dots. If there were submission deadlines attached to parts of these portfolios, there would be some kind of notation here next to these dots. And then the number of submissions that could potentially be put into this portfolio are listed here, and the green dot will signify what's submitted. As you look down this list of documents, you'll see that all of these dots are blue. That means these are upcoming submissions. Of course, if something was late, if this was an overdue one, for example, it would be red. If it was once it's submitted, it will turn green, etc. To the right, you have a couple of other interesting tabs that you can use. You won't need to worry about these right now, but for future reference, just in case you're curious, if you click on the Setup button, when you create a portfolio, you're allowed to do a few little things to edit it and play with it. This one, of course, is one that you really want to leave as it is, but there are things that you can do, there are themes that you can select, etc. How will I be assessed? When you click on this, what you'll find is a replication of this list of items to the left, but you'll also see when you click on individual ones, links to the actual rubrics that are going to be used to assess the work that you submit for the portfolio. I encourage you to take a look at those to see what kinds of assessment criteria your faculty members are going to be using when they assess your work. And secure sharing, this isn't a page you're going to want to share, but at a later time when we talk about how to create a public portfolio, of course, this would be where we would begin our work to share. Now, as far as the individual items go, in your first semester, you're only going to be concerned with this first year ventures area, or if you are a transfer student, the first year discovery area. These two areas are for the first semester classes that students take. If you're taking ventures, you're going to be putting your papers here. If you're taking discovery, you're going to be putting your papers there. All students will do something, but not all students will do all of these things. So we're going to focus on the ventures, but discovery folks, just keep in mind that what I'm about to say also goes for you as well in your discovery section. So in the ventures section, you'll see I have two items that I need to submit. I have artifacts that are related to problem solving and artifacts that are related to collaboration. If I click on problem solving, I'm taken to the page where I'm going to add my content. And the page for collaboration will look exactly the same. This is pretty self-explanatory. There's no content on the page yet. I click on this Add Content button, and the drop-down suggests that I can do a variety of things. I can create a text block. I can upload a new file. If I have files in my chalk and wire library, I can use those, but you won't have any of those for now. I can create a journal entry. I can create a form, or I can link to another portfolio page. For this purpose, you are only going to be using the text block and upload new file areas. You may not have to use the text block. That will depend on what your instructor has asked you to do, but you'll definitely have to upload new files. So let's see what that looks like. Once you click on Upload New File, you'll be taken to this particular screen, and you see that here you can add a file. I'm going to click on Add Files, and I'm going to navigate. I'm in my navigation area. I'll just grab something here. So we'll put this document in and choose. And then let's say I have two documents that I need to put in. So I'll put in a couple of things. And when I click Start Upload, you'll see that I get this little note. And now both of these documents have been uploaded. Of course, I could also have clicked Start Uploading All. Now that I've got my files in, I click on Close. And I'm back at the page where I was before, except now I can see those documents that have been added to my portfolio. If I need to do something like add a header, I can say text block, create a text block, and type in some text. Welcome to my portfolio. Save. And close. And that text appears, but you'll see it's at the bottom. So let's say I want to rearrange these things so that I can get my work done in the right order. What I'm going to do is over here, this little flyout, it gives me a handle, and I can move that text box up. And maybe I want the PDF to be the last file, so I'm going to drag it down. And now I have my new portfolio page all ready to go. Over to the right, you'll see a big giant green button that says Ready to Submit, and a notation that this is going to be using the Compass Curriculum Problem Solving and Creative Practice rubric for assessment, but it hasn't been submitted yet. So if I'm ready to submit, I'm just going to click on that big green button. And I get this form. You're making a submission from this portfolio. Where should it go? Enter the names of the assessors to whom you wish to submit. And you're going to enter your instructor's name here. So I'm going to put my name, Anita Durwa, and submit. And now this has been submitted to my instructor, and she will be able to do the assessment that she needs to do for my portfolio. If I click on Return, It's going to take me back to that page where I did my submission, but now you can see this section is showing that I have submitted and I have a pending assessment. If I've put the wrong document in, I can always withdraw my assessment request and come back and work on this page. If I go back to the table of contents, now you'll see that my problem solving dot has turned green, and I can move on to do the next piece that I need to take care of. That is, in a nutshell, how you set up your portfolio and submit your documents. If you have any further questions, we encourage you to come to one of our upcoming workshops on using chalk and wire. Please contact the writing program at Millsaps writing program at millsaps.edu to find out what those dates are. And if you need one-on-one help, you're welcome always, of course, to come over to the writing program offices on the first floor of Johnstone Hall during the regular work hours, 8:30 till 4:30. There will be somebody here who will be able to answer your questions and help you out. I hope that you found this short tutorial instructive. We look forward to working with you and can't wait to see what wonderful work you upload into your portfolios.